Hello, everybody. Ray Garrett here, and I wanted to give you guys a quick demonstration. In the call the other day, someone asked if we could download the ProScore report into Excel, and we mentioned that we can't, and that you guys asked, well, how would I do it if I wanted to? So I wanted to show you guys that. I did promise you to do a video, and it's multi-stepped. And as I looked at it, I couldn't see a real good reason to want to do it. Sometimes the functionality of um, these search headers doesn't necessarily work as well as we like for them to work. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't. So that might be a good reason that you want to. But more than anything else, I thought it just might be a good chance to do kind of an Excel tutorial, since it is kind of a very multi-step process in getting this done. So I thought that you might enjoy that, and it might help you in your endeavors. So here's the first thing we're going to do. First thing we're going to do is we're going to copy this data, and then we're going to put it in Excel, and then we're going to format it once we get it in Excel to make it useful. Okay. So what I'm just going to grab by highlighting all of this and go down to the bottom here on this account, and then we're just going to mouse over and copy. Going to go to Excel and create a new blank workbook. Okay, and I'm going to go to cell A1 here, right click, and then actually we'll just go ahead and paste, which is my control V. I just want to paste the whole HTML just like that in there. If you paste text, it's not going to work properly, or at least not like we want it to. So let's show you what that would look like if I just pasted text. So if I go and right click and I go paste special and then I paste text, it's going to look like this, which isn't necessarily bad, but I find it easier to do it the other way. You see all of this gobbledygook there. So we're not going to do it like that. I'm going to show you what I think is the easiest way to do it. So once it's in here, once it's pasted in, all of the HTML, all the pictures and everything, what I want you to do is copy it again. So we'll just copy, and then we're going to create a new sheet, and I'm going to right click, and then I'm going to paste special, and this 1, 2, 3 is values. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to paste the values here. So that's two steps, right? I paste the first one in HTML, I copy what I've just pasted in HTML, and then I paste it here in a new sheet as values. So that's second step. Third step, I am going to add a line above this first column here. Just insert right there so you can kind of see I've inserted a line between where this stuff is, because this is all gobbledygook up here too, right? We got to get all of this stuff fixed. Now, the next thing is that you can see here I've got number 1, and I've got John Zapp on the line, Jane Zapp, Larry Kiefer. All of these are on the line below where I want them to be. And there are some ways that you could overcome that with formulas and things like that, but I want to show you what I think is the simplest way. I'm going to go over here to the side in column M, and I'm just going to put an equal sign, and I'm going to bring in, I'm going to click that sign, so equals that cell, and when I hit enter, it'll bring that name over there. And then I've got 2 blank cells right there. That's what I want, because you see the pattern. It's occupied cell, blank, blank, occupied, blank, blank, occupied. So it's a pattern all the way down. So what I can do is just copy that pattern with the formula in there, and then just grab the bottom right corner here and drag it all the way down to the bottom, just like so. So I'm going to drag it down, and now you can see the names are lined up with this. Still not done here now. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to highlight this cell in the next step, this column here in the next step by clicking on the letter M, right clicking somewhere in the gray, and I'm going to cut it. Now I'm just going to highlight the entire cell over here, this entire column over here, right click, and what I want to do is anyway, hold on, actually we're going to do this differently. I'm going to tell you this a different way. So I'm just going to highlight rather than do the whole cell. And I'll show you the reason that you want to do that later. So I am going to cut it again. So let's just cut this out. Not going to do the whole row. We're going to just cut it. So now that I've cut, and now I just want to go over here, and then we're going to paste special. So let's undo that. Let's just copy. And then we're going to paste special. Doesn't let me cut. It doesn't want to let me cut and paste special in this application. So we're going to just copy and then paste. So again, I just right clicked over here. I copied it, and then over here, but you always want to paste special, so I'm going to right click and then paste the values. And now I can delete column M. I don't need that any longer. And so that puts the name up next to where all the numbers are. Got that so far? Now I know this might be a lot of work, but if you want it in here, plus this is something that can help you on other things as well. So we are basically all the way there. We've got a couple of other things. We've got to get rid of these blanks. So I'm going to show you a neat trick on how to do that. I'm going to highlight the entire table where you want to eliminate the blanks and just highlight it there. Then we're going to go over here to find and select. Find and select. So I'm going to click that and I'm going to hit go to special. And then we're going to get the blanks there. I'm going to go to blanks. And what that's going to do is identify any cells with nothing written. And now I want to just take my little plus sign, my little cursor, and mouse over anywhere that's gray. Right click, and then click delete. And then what it's going to ask me, do I want to go left or up? Obviously I want to shift them up to line everything up, so I'm going to shift those cells up. And now I've got everything here lined up. Now we know the first two is name and rank, so I'm going to put name and rank there. But now we got to get all of this stuff. Do you want to type all this out? I guess you could, but there's an easier way. I want to show you how that. First of all, the number of, you don't need that. You know all of the stuff is the number of, so you don't need that cell right there, but you do need these, the days logged in. So here's what I'm going to suggest that you do. I'm going to suggest you put a formula in here that's going to combine those two cells into one phrase. And the way that you do that is you hit the equal sign. Then you click on the first cell, which is C2. And then I'm going to introduce you to this little character here. It's and. So it's just combining things. And we're going to need a space between the words day and logged. So the way that you do that is in quotes. So quote, space, quote. And now I'm going to put another and, because I need something else after that. And then I'm going to click on the cell C3. So that's my formula right there. It's just saying C2 and a space and C3. Click enter, and that puts that there. Now once I get that in, I'm just going to, again, bottom right hand, drag it all the way across, and then that puts all of that stuff there. Now what I'm going to do at this point is I'm going to just go ahead and copy and do our little trick, and then right click over where I've highlighted somewhere and then paste special values, and that gets those formulas out of there. And once those formulas are gone, you can delete what you have here, and there you go. You've got it in Zep. I know it's a multi-level process, so you can stop the video now if you just want to go ahead and do that piece of it. For those of you who want to stay, I'm going to format it so you can check it out. It's going to take a couple extra minutes to format. If you want to see how to format it, what I'm going to do first is I'm going to click in the top right hand corner that highlights the whole page. I'm going to right click and go to row height, because I don't like it. It's too squishy for me. I like a little bit more space in there, so I'm going to go to maybe 18 in my row height instead of 15. That looks a little bit better in my eye. I don't know about yours. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to expand out the name by mousing in between the A and the B and then double clicking. And that just spaces out the name there. Now what I'm going to do here is I'm going to grab column B. I'm going to just highlight, I'm going to highlight the whole thing, right click and go to column width. And it's 8 now. Let's just say 12. That might get it done. Okay, that looks okay. Now the next thing is, you can see here it's still not, so I want to wrap this text so when it's longer, when you've got 2 words or whatever there, it's going to go in a line below it. So the first thing I want to do is expand it down a little bit so that it has room. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to highlight that whole row there and then mouse right click and go into format cells. Then I want to click on the alignment and then wrap text right there. That gets it there. Now the only thing that looks a little goofy is recommended, so I'll expand that out a little bit because it doesn't cut off the ED. And then, I might narrow in calls a little bit. The rest of it looks okay. So now I've got all of that done. Now the next thing I like to do, you might not, but I do, I like to go in and center everything. So I'm going to center it from left to center. Click on left and then go to center. And then I'm going to center it to top to bottom where it's actually in the center of the cell too. So it's in the center from left to right and the center from top to bottom. I like the way that looks personally. The last thing I might do is I might highlight the top up here. Now, so what I like to do here, I believe, is I'm going to color in the cells. So I'll color in like a Coldwell Banker looking kind of blue color here. We'll go to that color. We'll make the text white. We'll bold it. And that's starting to look pretty good. Let's see what we got here. Now we need lines in between that because it just looks a little, so let's put some lines in. But black lines aren't going to show well, so we want to put in maybe like a white or a blue colored line to kind of match, or maybe some gray colored lines to match the rest of them. I'm going to show you how to do that. We're going to go into the menu bar again here, and then first thing I would do is click on that little arrow next to the borders, and I'm going to go down the line color, and then we'll go in and we're just going to make it like a little gray color like this. That's close enough. And now once we do that, we still have it highlighted. Now I'm just going to draw in some borders. And that looks pretty similar to what you got there. I think that looks pretty close, don't you? Okay. So that looks good. And I say that's a pretty decent level for formatting. Now some people like to total, so let's see what that would look like if we just total it down here for your team. I'm going to go back into this, and what I'll do is put a double line because that's kind of the universal symbol for totaling something. So I want a top and double line. I just want the bottom double border. So that puts the double border there. That looks okay. And I don't like to put it in case you want to rearrange things, I don't want to put it in 28. I'm going to just narrow that down and just put the totals in 29 there. And you'll see if you ever sort or anything like that, if you sort it and you have it in the next line down, sometimes it'll grab it in the sort. If you have it like in the one down, you don't. It doesn't do that. So rank, I don't need that one totaled. And days logged in, I don't necessarily need that one. I might want the average of this one. So I'm going to come back to that. Contacts added, you probably do want to total that one. So I'm just going to hit equals and then sum in the colon here, and just, the parentheses, and then just grab it and then close out the brackets there, close out the parentheses, hit enter, and that totals it for me. And then all of these I might want totaled. So I'll just drag this all the way across. So that adds all of that data in there. And then finally, I am going to say that maybe I want the average here of days logged in. So I'll put equals, and then I'll start typing average, and you'll see there's an average there. So now I can go in and do the same thing I did with the sum, close out the brackets, and then there's the average. I might not like all of those decimal points there, so I might just kind of bring it down to just one decimal point. So there you go. Now what I might want to do as well, instead of having this in regular format, maybe I want it to look the same as up here, so I don't have to go through and do all of that stuff again. I can just copy this row, and then highlight the row that I'm going to alter, right click, and then click on paste special. In here you'll have something that says you want to paste the formats. That's it, not the values, just the formats. Hit OK. And then now your totals look kind of like that. Unfortunately, I forgot to go in, so I'm just going to go clean that up real quick. And there you go, 23.1. So that is just a quick way of doing this particular thing. Now, if you have a lot of names, more than 20 or so, and they go on down the page, and you want to just freeze the panes, you can do that as well. Just click up here under the name or wherever you want to freeze them, and go to View, and then Freeze Panes. Just click Freeze Panes, and then this menu will pop up. You can click that, and now what will happen is if you scroll down, the panes will be frozen. So that's a quick tutorial, guys. I hope you enjoyed that. Now you just save it and do whatever you want to with it. Might not have a lot of uses with ProScore, but I think that I do think that it will. You'll probably find some use in other Excel applications that you might need to do the same types of things. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks so much.